our final game of the evening. It's game number 3 between RNG and LGD. And now with RNG on blue side once again and a new jungler in their ranks, the question is, can they close out the series? Or will the bottom tier team from Spring Split, LGD, pull themselves together and take the win? We've already got Fiora, Thresh, and Caitlyn banned away. Zac and Galio banned away by LGD. They are not taking any chances. And now with J4, Jarvan on top of that, just to round out that final ban.
Does mean that Kennen, Rumble, and even Camille means so much more now that we have these picks kind of crafted up into the top lane, but that's not going to be the priority for RNG, it seems.
Looking towards the jungle, looking to enable Yihan. His most played so far is that Lee Sin with 2 picks, both of them against Xiaogu in spring 2017, and he does have a 16.0 KDA on that Lee Sin. Can he continue it here?
We'll see. He is against a, I'm not going to say easy jungler, but Amy doesn't have the best reputation or KDA or stats in general in the LPL, but that's more indicative of the suffer. Wow, I can't. It's 9 games. I'm so, my English language is done right now.
Getting a little tired there? Well, that's fine. We've got one more to go, and we'll keep an eye on LGD as they round their composition out now. Zyra and Kennen, very early rotation for the two.
What did I say? I said Kennen rises up in priority because the top lane pool's been pinched.
You did?
Yeah, and there it is.
Now with Zyra as well.
You know what it does? It makes it very hard to pick a hyper carry, like Kog'Maw.
Ooh, but that means that we do now see a priority towards the mid lane. Xiaohu, after a huge performance on that Syndra, takes someone a little bit more mobile who can have more influence around the map on that Taliyah, and also more importantly can lay down the Unraveled Earth if anyone wants to get into his face.
It's also great for sieging, as well as blocking off big monster objectives, which is why RNG found so much success with Taliyah in the past. We talked about how dominant they were with the Barons, that once they got them, they pretty much then ended the game. A lot of that was on the back of Xiaohu's Taliyah play, his ability to lock teams away from inhibs as they're sieging them, or give them free monster objectives, things like that.
Question is, will they be free this time, or will LGD actually get a chance to fight back, as now they're looking at an AD carry. Varus locked in. So again, early priority towards that bottom lane from LGD. We're still not seeing an AD carry just yet out of Y4, and still have yet to see the top laner for Let Me. Whereas LGD, they are holding on to their mid and top. So a little bit of priority shuffling going around. It's interesting to see how the focus has shifted across this series.
But already we have so much CC coming out of LGD's composition, and so much zone control in general. Now it looks like they're going to continue to try to sculpt and craft a good winning matchup for Jinnu to empower their split pushing win condition that they have with that Kennen.
Kassadin ban now targeted towards Cool. He was able to put up some big damage in game number 1, but really just was lacking in the wave clear. I just realized under his previous picks for Imp in game number 1, I wrote Imp playing Imp instead of Twitch. Yeah.
I do that reaction. All the time.
But yes, he is going to be on Varus this time around, and with Kassadin banned away, we get to see something new from Cool. Rumble now banned away from Let Me.
He's still got Kled.
Yeah, that Kled could be an option. Perhaps Jinnu picks it away here with the Olaf ban.
Hopefully, Jinnu's got Kennen. Jinnu
he does, you're right.
Needs to feel confident enough taking that Kennen into Let Me's potential Kled, because Let Me was the big Kled player of the LPL. I know 957 kind of ran away with the title, but this guy's the OG Kled player.
He was the one who was able to take it internationally, so it did receive a little bit more publicity than Let Me's, I would imagine. And jungle still open. Ivern was actually the last ban from RNG in the previous game.
I think Elise makes a bit more sense here. Again, you have so much single target CC that not only does it help with the pick composition, but then you also have the ability to snowball on lanes that need to find priority here, like the Kennen. Get that snowball ahead, so the scales tip in their favor for their lane assignments later on.
So very important to come out of lanes very strong. We've seen what happens when RNG can maintain that momentum in lane in game number 1, and we've seen what happens when LGD get that momentum in game number 2. Ashe now going to be the lockup, so there is a lot of pick from RNG as well. They can flick somebody back, they can get Lee Sin to kick someone out of position, and if Y4 can land an arrow, that could be great.
Mostly just a 5v5 composition coming out of RNG, though, so we'll see if this changes maybe with the top laner. Again, they have the potential to play side lanes with the speed of the Talia, but since it's a Gragas, again, they're committing to being as a unit and moving around the map together.
We saw how chaotic some of those skirmishes could be in game number 2 as, ooh, he's giving it the hover. Twisted Fate locked in for Cool in the mid lane.
And this is the Cool special. This is a champion very similar to Messiah that Cool really made his reputation on alongside the Ahri. So it kind of goes one of two ways. Either Cool looks like a god and everyone's reminded why he is the TF god, or he feeds out of his mind and they're like, please retire.
Feed relentlessly.
And last time we saw it in Demacia Cup, it was kind of more of the latter.
Yeah.
But when he goes off, it's pretty much like, hold my beer, we're going deep.
Yeah. Hold my card and watch this.
But either way, we have the Twisted Fate in response to the Talia. It means that when Xiaohu tries to make one of these side lane plays on his wall, it's very easy for Cool to follow. Vice versa, either way. So this should be exciting, and I hope we have a very quick tempo game where plays are happening early, as opposed to kind of what happened last time,
Slow snowball.
Just everyone's giving each other eyes.
Yeah. We'll gank you. Not if we gank you first.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, and then they just stare at each other. But teams not staring at each other now, they're staring at their screens as they prepare to load onto the Rift for the final game of the evening. It's been a long best of 3 for the first 2.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day for all of us. And they are now prepared to close this out. LGD trying to continue their rise to the top. Could you imagine a world in which LGD are 2-0 at the end of week 1 and RNG are 0-2?
I'm already on that train, Dom. We're already driving towards the finals.
I don't need to sell you tickets.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
if
front
anything.
row.
Yeah. You're hanging on to the top.
Can I actually just be in the train?
Question of perspective.
That's fine. Taking a look at these compositions, though, I've been waiting for them to come out onto screen. I like how LGD have the potential to go for the 1-3-1, and they have a lot of tower threat and a lot of versatility with their comp. They can group up, they can look for the picks and the 5v5s, but mostly this is about using that blue card, using that cannon split push, and start sieging structures around the map. And RNG have shown that they're a bit slow to react. You know, they let some objectives go for free, especially when they have MLXG, and Yeehan's even newer.
Yeah, and when they're on the ball, though, they do react very quickly. For example, getting a pick in the bottom lane, you get Let Me split pushing on the other side of the map with Fiora to trade those objectives.
But that was such a small window of last game, so I'd like to see more of that. We'll see if we will.
Yeah, you said you wanted to see action early. Gold card catches Let Me as they chunk him down to half. And that is 9 members of the team over here. Y4, split pushing bottom. That's not a split push, that's a ward. There's a difference.
Crowd very loud right now.
I feel like you guys should be able to hear that one.
Otherwise, it's just awkward.
Yeah. We're just patiently waiting out the early game.
Okay.
What do your analyst eyes see?
Well, Yeehan on Lee Sin is going to be the biggest question mark for this game. In the short tape and footage that we've had of him, you can basically just plug him and play for MLXG. But that was because the likes of Let Me, the likes of Xiaohu, and the likes of Uzi were just passively winning the lanes. It's pretty easy to play jungler when everyone wins. This time around with Y4, with Yeehan, there's just this giant question mark. There's so many new pieces to this RNG lineup that this could be incredibly risky that RNG go 0-2 simply for making this type of substitution in Game 3.
You were mentioning it yourself earlier during OMG that it is so important to stick to a roster and commit to its development. Well,
and then they subbed.
We just saw them sub out in their last game and still win the series. Albeit they did have Zac in the jungle instead of Lee Sin. But Yeehan, I feel, slightly more recognizable name than that of Jieko. As level 2 gets picked up from Xiaohu. Just tossing a little bit of damage onto Cool, zoning him away from the minions with that Unraveled Earth. And Yeehan now at that blue buff. Junglers are very close.
The thing about Talia is that she wants to naturally play forward in the lane, just so she has more space to kind of kite back with Worked Brown. It also helps her to get those early backs off for early itemization.
Swing and a miss from Amy.
Good attempt, though.
Yeah. Catches the timing while Yeehan's at his blue buff.
Yeehan also got a cheeky ward underneath. But both junglers know where they are. See what happens with this information. Xiaohu should feel comfortable being very aggressive still.
Yeah, Cool gets flung in, tossed into range for that gold card. Great reaction. I think he just insta-toggled that. And for those wondering, there is no longer a tempo to Twisted Fate's cards. They are randomized when you first activate them.
That's what Messiah used to do, is he used to actually count throughout the game, so he always knew what card he was going to pull. Just had that innate
Tempo.
rhythm.
And we don't mean like game tempo, we mean like actual beats per minute. Not quite a lot of mana there as Ming now spots out Yihan. He repels over to the blast cone and hops over the wall. PYL gets tagged by a slow but lands a snare. Exhaust on top of him. Sonic Wave, that's flash and heal from PYL. They turn onto Yihan. Welcome back to the LPL. Retreat. Xiaohu lays down the ground, but it's not enough, flinging Imp back.
I wish I could see a replay of that in slow motion. I feel like they should have actually procced the Winter's Bite and an auto attack got cancelled somewhere. And if that's the case, very lucky for PYL. That said, still burns his flash, so we'll see if Yihan's able to execute on that.
Yeah, it's 3 summoners for 1. Ming burning only his exhaust, but Cool shows up bottom. That's Ghost.
Who needs
still
Destiny?
hanging on to that flash. And he's back as well. He might have just shown himself. They have to know that something's off. He's starting to recall.
Oh, they can't get the creep wave in time, and they're spotted out by the hawk shot.
Yeah.
So close.
Whoa. Makes it back to base. Flings a chair.
It's good space, though. Cool doesn't lose anything for that. Yeah, he burns his ghost, but it's on a relatively short cooldown, as well as the fact that he had pushed the way forward, so he's not sacrificing any CS, but really early proactive play. Again, normally you don't see the level 4 Twisted Fate game.
Yeah. Twisted Fate's in my lane.
What is that?
What's he gonna do? Gold card me? Oh god. He gold carded me.
Thanks for walking me through that.
Yeah.
All the way?
You gotta get to the end.
Yeah,
Because if you get left hanging, it doesn't have the comedic payoff.
got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I can go through it again if you want. I see Imp is trading with. It's getting to that time of night, ladies and gentlemen. Imp is now caught with a stun. He's still hanging on to his flash. Flash is late. Auto attack follows. Y4 first blood.
That time, no, auto attack was cancelled, so the concussive blows lands. They're able to follow it up, pick up that first blood, and Yihan, excuse me, Y4. This is going to be hard. Yihan and Y4?
Yeah.
Looking great. Good job,
Yep.
guys.
Good hustle.
I feel like a Little League coach sometimes.
I really liked how you kicked the ball that one time. That was good job.
Kick him in the face.
You're a very different Little League coach than I am.
I'm playing League of Legends, not Little League,
Little
Dom.
League of Legends, yeah.
Oh, that would
LLOL.
be an excellent team name.
LLOL.
How has that not happened? I'm sure there's some sort of...
Copyright or something. Tough say. But with that, we now have recall completed from Ming. Makes his way back onto the map with a Sightstone and tries to sneak under the vision. Just kidding.
He's
That
definitely just
Boldly walking in.
directly into the lane.
I thought
Okay.
he was waiting for the minion wave to push past.
No, but this is an important ward. So the reason why he's placing that is because naturally Twisted Fate wants to duck out of the lane. He wants to push it forward with his red card, his wild card, and then duck down into the river to look for the Destiny. By placing a very forward ward like that, you can see him as he starts to cheat bottom or top, giving your side lanes enough time to respond. I appreciate you, Ming.
They've got an additional ward just south of the lane, plus another one in the river. There is a safe ward from Jinnu, or not Jinnu, excuse me, Let Me up top on the Gragas.
But a ward that should spot someone is Amy. There's also one very deep in that back brush as along came a spider, and there she goes.
Hops over the wall and turns right back around into the river. He might find Xiaohu here as he places a ward. And Amy immediately clears it.
Xiaohu has to be really careful doing that. Cool has level 6, and yeah, that ward will spot as he starts cheating out towards one of those side lanes.
Oh, yeah.
But if he's caught in the river by a cocoon, that's also a Destiny right on top of him.
Yihan rides over the wall. Yihan!
Please,
To
no.
the Gromp.
I already have trouble saying it, Tom. And now I'm going to think of that every time.
Because he kicks his legs up. He tosses his hands in the air while he's riding as well.
Hasn't
With
he never
the Sonic
told you
Wave.
that you look like Woody? from Toy Story.
Every day it's a new cartoon character with you.
No, what you actually look like is Beaker. The Muppet.
Sesame Street character. Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's a
Wait,
Muppet.
is there a difference between Sesame Street and Muppets? Oh my god, there is. How is it that I never knew this?
I think they're part of the same
Like family?
universe?
I don't know. Like the DC
I'm not good with this fandom.
Puppets. Spider-Man swings down.
Where does the Dark Crystal fit in all of this?
Oh god, that's a different universe entirely. David Bowie's smiling on from above.
That's Labyrinth.
It's the same era,
That's a completely different movie.
but it's like the same thematics. You can't tell me that Dark Crystal and Labyrinth aren't.
You're just tilting me so hard right now.
Aren't they by the same guy?
Crystal was by Jim Harris,
Yeah. Was Labyrinth
Harrison?
not by Harrison?
the guy who created
The
Kermit the
puppet
Frog.
guy? Yeah.
The puppet guy. He's literally rolling in his grave right now.
I know. He's doing barrel rolls on the ground.
Here comes
No,
the
I don't
Talia
actually
wall.
know. Yeah. We're going to get so many messages after this. It's just going to be gifts.
The
of
producer,
puppets.
stop talking about puppets!
We wanted it to be a fast game. It wasn't because we wanted action, it's because we were afraid of what would happen if you put us in front of a microphone for 10 minutes with nothing going on.
I mean, let's be real. The teams right now are bouncing the waves back and forth,
Yeah.
and they're just in between these pressure points. You have Talia, who's constantly looking for ganks, or Twisted Fate, who's constantly looking for ganks.
Xiaohu might have finally found one.
But there's been such great vision and cross-map communication that as soon as one of these champions disappears, everyone backs up.
Yeah. Taking it so safe.
So back to puppets.
Oh, that's the arrow. Ultimate traded onto Imp. They're trying to burst him down. Auto attack. He's enough. PYL gets that kill there. Diving bottom. Destiny. Gold card. Ming is caught. Amy follows through and gets another one. 2 kills, LGD.
And success, LGD find the side lane first. So Talia cut up towards the top lane, was spotted out, and they immediately rotate towards the bottom lane and make it happen. It should be the tower as well with Elise's pushing power.
Yeah, we might be seeing a turret trade here. Xiaohu and Yihan trying to rush down this turret as Red Buff slowly burns it away. But LGD are going to get there first as the wave reinforces just in time. The Spiderlings are more than enough to reinforce it.
I mean, they may get the first tower, but if RNG actually do trade mid, they get the more important structure.
Ooh, that was cutting it a little close there, Imp, but that's first brick.
So we take another look at this replay.
Kicks him away. Then he just flashes and goes bottom.
And then he just pieces out. I wanted to be here anyway.
And Yihan has that awkward silent moment of, oh god, what have I done?
Here we go.
Xiaohu shows up top, leaps onto Jinnu, tries to get the kill, and does succeed. Let me able to get the slam dunk with an explosive cask while Yihan is on the Mountain Dragon.
Yeah, 2-for-1 special. Buy one, get one free. Kill top lane, Mountain Dragon bottom. That doesn't often happen.
That does not. As Amy's even on that side of the map, but there's no vision from LGD over here, and with that, Yihan is probably feeling pretty good about this now.
And the reason why this is happening is because LGD didn't prioritize the Mountain Dragon. They actually picked up Imp and were like, because normally you could grab your bottom lane, rotate to Dragon, and then put them top lane.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we don't care about that. Just go top lane. They skipped the step.
Focus. Focus. Focus.
Smartly, though, PYL should be noted, placing deep vision underneath. Because the problem is when you don't have the Ashe, you don't have the blueprint for the arrow to just break mid-tower. We talk about this all the time. Instead, if you're the Caitlyn, if you're the Varus, the Ezreal, something like that, you get kicked out to these side lanes, but it leaves your flank super wide open. So it's incredibly important to get that deep vision, especially against the likes of the Talias and the Twisted Fates.
Ooh, Cool gets kicked once again. The flick away as Jinnu has actually joined the fight. Gold card onto Xiaohu, but he cleanses. Caught by the auto. Jinnu needs the range. Lightning surge. Turn it off auto. Finally, he gets the kill. Yihan follows through and is about to be stunned. Is Jinnu the god we need?
Go!
Dying to the minions. You're not helping.
Literally!
Good hustle.
Good hustle, boys.
Rub some dirt on it. Walk a lap. I don't know how to be a coach.
I never did get to do that, so I wanted to give it a try.
Wait, is he just immediately activating her? Okay, she's off for a nice long walk towards the top lane. This is called ineffective use of Rift Herald.
She's actually not going to charge it, hopefully.
There
Okay.
she goes. Stalled out by the minion wave, and Do you think he's never used it before?
I mean,
or maybe he was trying to place a trinket.
No, maybe there's an ulterior motive here. She does get the charge off. No, I can't. I tried.
All right, cool. Cool. Here's that play again.
Is this the same kick?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is Jinu diving the tower.
Yeah.
There we go. I mean, the replay's cool. I feel like this is one of those replays that we like, get him, just go, just run. Oh.
No words, more sounds.
It's great CC from Jinu. Good heads-up play. I like how aggressive he's being. Good hustle.
Good hustle. Somebody get that man an ice pack. He's doing great.
Most people give him like Gatorade.
I was going for like something to keep you cool, because he's working so hard. He's got to be sweating.
Yeah, I got it.
I can explain it if you want.
Please, no.
Oh man.
You were literally the dad jokes of casters. That's your gimmick, Tom. You just like socks with sandals.
Those are comfy, okay? Oh man.
You literally wear Crocs while casting.
That is not true, and you know it. I haven't stooped to that level. Okay, here we go. Destiny. They are trying
He's
to
looking
catch
for the pick and
Xiaohu,
river.
And the gold card goes the distance.
But it forces him to surf away, which means now they're out of position. LG have the inside track on mid, but they don't have the creep wave. They're looking for the fight.
Kuhn onto Ming. He's forced to flash back as PYL chases forward. Meanwhile, Y4 has been working on this top tier 1 turret and will finally break it down. RNG have now got a bit more momentum here.
And meanwhile, mid, they are still waiting for this creep wave.
Committed.
It's finally come in, though.
He's supposed to arrive here any minute now. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, good arrow.
Tags Jinu, Sonic Wave, and the knockup. He's kicked back as Imp is separated from the fight, and Jinu, kicked in, is cleaning up so much. Somehow, they juggle aggro and win the fight.
Disaster for RNG. Technically a numbers disadvantage. Let Me wasn't there. Y4 only participated with the arrow. But kind of a disastrous kick. I think it was actually the Varus ultimate that caused problems there.
Bit of a mistake from Yihan and Ming, engaging the fight before Y4 and Xiaohu could fully collapse, and Let Me still not there. That means LGD break down the mid-tier 1 and bring it even 3-3 in turrets, and despite the volatile nature and excellent engaged setup, they just couldn't close it out.
But things are getting pretty rapidly out of control in terms of itemization breakpoints for LGD. So you have the Blade of the Rune King completed on Kinnan. Although, hold on. I really want to take a look at what's going to happen to Lee Sin. So he's going to jump onto Imp and kick him. Was he locked down by the Chains of Corruption, and that's why he couldn't look for the insect? Or did he not have his flash?
Oh, do you think he was trying to kick Imp in? No, he kicked Imp and then got snared.
Yes. I was trying to decide initially whether he was trying to kick Imp back or if he was trying to kick Imp away. And ultimately, all he did was kick Varus to safety and then die into the 1v1.
Yes.
So
which allowed Jinu to walk in and slicing Maelstrom
and
into the whole
kill
team.
everyone else.
Yeah. As you do.
As it happens.
Yeah. And
but
now
back to the item breakpoints.
Get there.
So the Blade of the Rune King, which means that Jinu has priority now into one of those side lanes, especially across from Gragas. That said, Let Me will be fine just clearing waves or catching waves, but he's going to be having to deal with the push pressure. The other big one is the Sheen and the Super Soaker on Cool. He's got a lot of safety there, but more importantly, he has a lot of tower pressure now. So the 1-3-1 is truly online for LGD if they choose to use it.
GLP 800 so great at catching people out of position. Now Ocean Dragon is up in 30 seconds, and LGD are really investing into it. Wards on wards on wards. As Cool starts clearing out some of these minions.
Check out where Let Me, though.
Or Ming. He could also be a pick for LGD. Sonic Wave onto Imp. Auto attack. He's looking for it. This time he gets the Insect, but there's Cool from behind. He manages to find Y4. That's the AD carrying support gone. Jinu over the wall. Flash slicing Maelstrom. LGD are tearing RNG apart.
And there's no safety for RNG. So much single target CC, so much lockdown between the Varus, the Elise, and then you throw the Twisted Fate on top of it. LGD are doing such a great job ripping RNG apart at the seams, finding them at every corner. And Jinu, this guy showing that AD Kennen can still be that AP Kennen.
Yeah.
You know, he's going in for the team fights. He's not just playing these side lanes.
Here's that pick again. They managed to find Ming, even though he tries to stall it out as best he can. He just doesn't buy enough time.
And it's just a race to the punch, and Cool is beating Xiaohu every single time. Gets the Destiny into Fog of War behind them, and then Jinnu, the cherry on top, flashes the wall and gets 3 people in his ultimate.
Oh, huge damage coming out of LGD in these fights. They're now 5,000 gold ahead, 10 kills to 2. Of course, the players can't see the gold on their screen. The only thing they can see is turrets and kills, and that's not exactly a very motivational number for RNG.
Well, they can definitely also hit tab, and LG are going to feel really good about their item differences right now. Again, this is just starting to balloon out of control for RNG. They played well from behind last game, but a lot of that was on the back of Xiaohu's Syndra.
Oh boy. Flash over the wall, and caught by the stun. Jinnu just follows through. He doesn't have too much else, and Y4 actually survives.
He has arrow, though, so keeping track of that cooldown and not willing to chase under tower.
Going to keep Jinnu alive. Doesn't get too bloodthirsty, playing nice and intelligent, riding the momentum that his team has. Baron's up in a minute, and LGD are already swapping their vision towards that top side of the map. Jinnu doesn't have teleport, but he does have lane pressure. And prepping bottom, and with the rest of LGD in mid, that means that they could be looking for something, or it could be RNG looking and finding PYL. Poor guy is crowd controlled for ages, and they just trade supports one for the other. Question is, will there be any additional follow-up as Xiaohu running a little greedy, eats a gold card despite setting up the zone control. Cool flashes, is slowed, CC'd, flung back, goes down. RNG are turning this mistake of a fight from LGD. The kick saves Imp, a huge mistake from Yeehan, but that's Jinnu joining the fight once again. Finally, they get the kill onto Imp as Jinnu sidesteps a Sonic Wave, but he is 1 versus 3. Can he turn this around? Gets a stun. He's doing quite it. No, he can't.
And suddenly, RNG are right back in this. Mistake after mistake, throw after throw. I just feel like the ball, we're just playing badminton.
Yeah. Good hustle, team.
I do want to give credit, though, we'll talk about it when I see it in the replay, to Xiaohu and Letme. Their communication and how Xiaohu used the presence of Letme coming up behind him to be so aggressive and forward actually drew Cool out of position to allow that fight to go so sideways for them. Okay, here we go. So, initially, PYL, he's actually going to stop moving at this point and just accept his fate wholeheartedly. It's the trade for the supports, but check out where Gragas is coming down the river. This is why Xiaohu has the confidence to position like this. And Cool, he's the guy who's threatening with the gold card. He overreaches for Xiaohu, who's there because of the safety of Letme, allows the slow from Y4 to tag him, and that's when things start to go sideways for LGD. Then at this point, Jinnu simply just too little, too late to the party. Imp will finally fall, and then Cannon will be walked down.
Lemmy's going to follow through and get this final kill onto Jinnu. Riding that momentum, RNG might find a way to get back into this game. And like you said, it's not exactly, getting right back into a fight as Amy and PYL are pinned against a wall with the Ignite and a barrel. PYL dies. And now, RNG are only 2,000 gold down. Baron has spawned. Jinnu's on the other side of the map with no teleport.
And again, it was Xiao who set that up. Having that wall there, making sure that he's separated, locked in the key members, and opening up the potential for this dragon.
Yeah, this is a Baron, and they're going on to it. That's going to be the Destiny and teleport coming up in just a second. Cool gets in. He tosses out a little bit of damage, but that's Baron secure. Teleport from behind. Cool is being turned on upon in the meanwhile and dies as teleport is completed from Jinnu for no effect.
And RNG now completely in control of this game. Yes, still down in gold, but they have the Baron, they have the momentum, and they have the right idea.
Wow.
Again, separate the team fight, pick out Amy, get PYL. It's just the added benefit here, and then immediately rotate it into the Baron.
This is a very messy game from LGD. They were probably feeling pretty good after the kills that they had earlier, but now they look back at the scoreboard. It's nowhere near close to what it was.
They simply haven't been able to execute on what their team composition does. They've been so focused on picks, and yeah, they were working for a bit, but just let Jinnu push in a side lane. Let him take these free towers. Maybe send the Twisted Fate out to the other lane. They need to change up tactics, and they have the possibility to do that, but now they need to consolidate their resources to stop the Baron.
That would have been the answer 3 minutes ago, but like you said, now they need to defend. The shoe is on the other hand, and now LGD have got to try to hold this Baroned up push. As Jinnu's actually split pushing in the top lane right now, and Letme is prepping bottom with Xiaohu firing across mid. Eventually this tier 2 will fall. They decide to back it away, and it looks like this might be the wave, though PYL trying to flank on that Zyra.
He doesn't want to take that flank.
Yeah.
That is one Braum Q away from disaster. It's a matter of how much can they stop bleeding. And RNG, they were so decisive with Baron before, maybe they return to that habit.
Looks like the bottom tier 2 is the first to fall. Mid already worked down to half, and Xiaohu is prepping yet another wave. Plus, he's got the Weaver's Wall ready. Could try to lock them off from the second, but decides to hold on to it and bring his team instead.
As well as the fact that Letney's also prepping that top lane, so this should be a very easy transition.
Arrow is launched across and misses. That means that temporary respite for LGD. They've still got a few more waves to come in. They've gone through 2/3 of the duration of that Baron, but still 90 seconds to go.
Just being patient. Again, the top lane will crash.
And he clears out the cannon, but here comes the next wave. Plans to try to stall it out. He's doing as much damage as he can, but Yihan and Xiaohu walk forward and finally clear that out along with Y4. Just in time for Let Me to get up there. Weaver's Wall separates the team, and Cool takes the Destiny to safety, sees it coming in time.
But another free structure for RNG. I expect that they'll back after this. We'll see how confident they're feeling. But they've got a lot of global gold that they could spend, and for the first time this game, have the gold lead.
They're continuing to push for the remaining duration. About 40 to 50 seconds left on the Baron. And finally the wave gets cleared out. Minor chip damage. Jinnu still working on that bottom push.
It just seems like such an overreach when you have your arrow down, when you know that the cannon's pushing forward. You don't want to really trade anything. Just take the power that you have, look for the next 5v5, and then end the game.
Baron going to be wearing out rather soon, but that means that Ocean Dragon is on the map. Jinnu looks to solo it, but Yihan and Xiaohu are there. They both start their recall, and it seems like LGD might get the consolation prize. They got Baron. I guess we got an Ocean Dragon?
Double Ocean, 25 minutes. Feels pretty bad.
Yeah.
Not the worst thing to have happened, especially in prolonged sieges.
And yep, the next dragon is also going to be an Ocean, the final dragon of the game.
But the Baron has fallen off. We'll have to see Yihan. He might have one single shred of it left. Doubt it.
Extended duration. Seems unlikely, but now LGD setting up, RNG setting up in that bottom lane. They've got a lot of vision on this side. They've got the Weaver's Wall coming off of cooldown relatively shortly.
And they're trying to force LGD into a position where they don't have the time to set up their split pushing. Trying to force them to fight. They've also done a great job clearing out their flanks, so trying to deny any sort of in for Jinnu in particular. Yes, the Twisted Fate can still get back there, but Kennen has nowhere really to teleport for. I think there's one shallow
look at the
control
speed
ward.
that they're going. They're turning onto the inhibitor turret, and they get it. Imp is caught. Cass pins him to the wall, but he's still alive. There's the teleport as Jinnu gets in on a plant. He stuns everyone on RNG except for Yihan before going down, as there's not enough follow-up in time. Weaver's Wall separates Imp. He is pinned and separated. He does not want to be on this side, but with the rest of LGD from the shooting gallery over the wall, Sonic Wave follows Yihan a little bit too deep. He gets a kick onto Cool. Gold Card tries to stall it out. They manage to get one as Imp steps forward, fires onto Ming, but can't get through the damage reduction. RNG call LGD's bluff and win the fight with an ace.
And that's certainly going to be the game. They do have a creep wave coming in, not too many minions with them, but their 80 carry is alive.
Pushing forward now onto the Nexus turrets. They have 3 minions to get through 2 turrets in 12 seconds. PYL is almost back up, and they have got more than enough to do this, even taking a few hits themselves to make sure they're nice and safe. But big sigh of relief as RNG will take a win here, their first win of the 2017 summer split.
It was close. It was a bit messy. We saw some bright highlights from either team, but in the end, it's RNG, and in particular Xiaohu, who puts on an incredible performance to take the series.
Put the team on his back, bring in a sub-jungler, and close it out.
And look at that smile on his face.
He knows what he's done.
Very well deserved. Stole the Baron, stopped a base siege, had some incredible Talia walls there.
Stole the Baron, stole the base, and stole our hearts.
I was going to say the series, but yeah, he can have that.
That's cool too, I guess.
On the other side, though, LGD, you can see the disappointment there. You can tell that there's some sort of renewed fire in them, renewed spirit. They seem to be taking it more seriously, and I hope this road bump doesn't change them for the worse.
I mean, we did see improvement from them as a whole, and hopefully this momentum continues throughout the course of the split, because now they find themselves 1-1 tied with RNG here. And currently, it looks like this could be a new year for LGD. If they get to continue this momentum throughout the rest of 2017, could be a return to form.
My concern is the morale of the team and how fragile it could be. We saw after 2015 Worlds, those guys were pretty much tilted off the face of the planet. And it took them 2 years.
Year and a half.
To right themselves and come all the way back around. So again, don't want to jump into any conclusions, but I hope that they can understand they're against RNG. They're a top team in the league. It was still a close series. They had some bright points. They should be happy with this performance.
Yeah, and of course here to help us break down that series, the whole best of 3, the final of the evening, is Raz. Welcome back.
And what an evening it is. 3 games for each set. Group B, we kind of outlined it as
the scrum.
The scramble. Who comes out ahead? And I guess this series kind of took the cake for this one. In the final game, you can see the massive gold lead that LGD had. This was their game to lose because essentially it felt so clean. And I love to see Cool on Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate versus Talia, it was as if there was a 0 versus 0 in the mid lane because they never faced each other. They just constantly kept roaming top side or bottom side. And so the initial dive into the bottom lane worked out incredibly well for Cool, and just snowballed from that point forward. It just didn't work out when somehow RNG were able to claw themselves back into the game based off of 2 fights in the mid lane, and then of course going on to that Baron.
And again, we do like to mention that RNG is one of the most, if not the most punishing teams with the Baron buff. After they secure it, they have the highest chance of actually ending the game, which is what we got to see here. Not so much in game number 1, where they did take the Baron and LGD were able to fight back and stall out the match.
Yeah.
But looking forward now for RNG, we've got some strengths that we can take away. We've still definitely got some weaknesses as well, but this is, I think, a new RNG. They seem to have grown from the spring split a little bit more.
Feels like all of our top teams are kind of reinventing their rosters. You know, we've like EDG 3.0. This is now RNG like 2.5. But the fact that they found success with both MLXG and Yeehawn as well as Y4 speaks volumes about kind of the pillars of support behind RNG in the background, because they're finding success due to those core fundamentals.
Yeah, for me, with all the changes that have happened in the spring split, summer split, it feels like Xiaohu and Ming just come out looking much better. They are shining brightly, because this was a game where, I mean, we've seen games where MLXG and there was no Uzi, and we've seen games with Uzi and there was no MLXG, but never really a game where there was just Yeehawn and Y4, just neither of the two, I guess, star performers for the team, because MLXG been known as a jungler who's been styling in previous splits, right? And then we know Uzi as just a major superstar in the region. But for this one game, we saw Xiaohu, or at least one set, we saw Xiaohu perform out of his mind. It's happened throughout last split, but it's continuing on this split. And then, of course, we see great setups from Ming. So I love to see this coming from the team, that the new, well, at the very least for Ming, a new upcoming support playing out of his mind in this sense, and Xiaohu, who's been around just a little bit, do just so well.
MVP, though, is going to go to the new AD carry, Y4 at 4-3-9, 87% kill participation, relatively low overall damage share, but he was landing clutch arrows to set his team up, to set Xiaohu up for those flanks.
Which I think also goes back to Ming, not to take anything away from Y4, but he is the shot caller of the team. We see it all the time, how different RNG play when he's on a champion like Leona. If he's standing next to the Ashe player, it's pretty easy to be like, throw the arrow.
Yeah.
That said, Y4, he had all of the dominoes set up for him. He knocked him down, so should be congratulated for that.
Yeah, exactly. And even though this was a game that was incredibly surprising to see RNG come back and take the set for them, I would have honestly given it to Xiaohu, because there were a few times where we saw those Talia walls really make the difference. Yep. Either way, Y4 came in this set, and I think he showcased himself to be a standout AD carry, right? Not like an AD carry where you would say, I'll like him for, over Uzi. I still want Uzi back. If that's an option, give me the man back. That's all I'm saying. But it wasn't like Y4 proved himself to be a good AD carry, and if this is a permanent change, then I would be fine with it.
Yeah, and someone who seems like they were having a little bit of trouble was Yihan. I personally was a little bit disappointed in his Lee Sin performance compared to some of the top-level LPL junglers that we've got in our league. Certainly he looked comfortable, played well with the team, and was able to set them up for success, but there were times where he would kick Imp out of a fight and save him, or kick Imp out of a fight and save him. That was actually 2 times that I'm remembering now. And this is the sort of growth that we want to continue to see from the secondary lineup from RNG.
I mean, it could just be stage jitters. Yihan doesn't have too much experience in the competitive scene. That said, get more tape. We'll see what he's really made of. And it's super easy to play jungle for RNG when you have these shining lights like Ning and Xiaohu to flank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess the question then is, why Yihan over MLXG?
I mean, it could be as simple as the difference between OMG's 2 junglers right now. The coach just said in an interview, you know, World 6 is here to be the playmaker, but we feel like our other jungler, Jetko, is more about strategy. And it could be a very similar situation for RNG. We just don't know, but anytime you do change one of these players, you're fundamentally changing the team, how they communicate, their morale, their mindset, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you got to expect that to be a question being slung at them in interviews, right? Why are they making these changes? People have to be asking that simply because where is Uzi? That's a major one, obviously. But even off that point, bringing in now Yihan, because they've had him in this sub position, could be a nice question to ask.
Yeah, and on the other side, looks like a replacement that has been fitting in rather well. LGD, Cool is a great improvement for the team. I mean, he is fitting in so well. I joked a whole lot through the broadcast about if this were Godvi, he'd be fighting and dying right now. But really, Cool was playing an intelligent game. He was playing with the team. He was playing to win the match, not to win his lane.
It just proves the point that I just brought up, and this idea that a single change, a single roster change, can make a massive difference, not just to that individual position, but to the team collectively as a whole.
Yeah, I was in the back and I was thinking, is it a possibility that somehow LGD comes out of this week 2-0? Like, that was, for me, that looked insane to be able to say LGD came out 2-0 and RNG's coming out 0-2. Now, of course, RNG take out the win, so both of them come out 1-1 at the end of the week, and it just kind of throws the group back up in the air, which is hilarious. Because, like, if you just take a step back and you look at the entirety of the day, which is just fully Group B, you see all 3 games coming out from each set, and if
it's close.
Exactly, and if you look at these sets, it was like, well, JD could have done made a few fix-ups, and they would have been the ones taking the game, or at least the set. And the same was true versus Newbie versus Sunning. Like, there are such small differences that really differentiate these teams, that it's nice to see. And it kind of, like, obviously it's week 1, but, like, it's a bit of a scramble, and we'll have to see how it comes out.
One team that I actually really did enjoy watching was OMG today.
Yeah.
We're still seeing them play at very high form, and certainly there are moments where we watch them falter. For example, game number 1 against JD Gaming. But they cleaned up the rest of that set and made it look remarkably easy. Perhaps we could have our new front runner for Group B.
I mean, in terms of week 1, I think that's an easy bet to make, or a safe bet to make on OMG, but again, I kind of agree with Raz. It's still just so up in the air and very close. These are very scrappy, kind of brawly, skirmish-heavy teams. So I feel like this could go wildly any direction.
Yeah, and if I were to make any bet,
now you're gonna make bets?
Yeah. Well,
After seeing a week.
If I were to make a bet.
What is this?
Wait. He's not making a bet. If he were to make a bet.
If I were.
Hypothetically.
In some random universe. Universe 8.
Hit me with your bet.
Okay. I would say that OMG comes out as first place, and it's not even that crazy.
Oh, risky bet.
It's not crazy.
Man.
If some random Raz made a bet. Yeah, because the reason why I would say that, it's obvious, yeah, sure, they came out 2-0 in the set, right? And we're going to be looking at the standings.
Yeah.
But the reason I would double down on it is because I actually just don't know what's happening with RNG. Like, RNG's roster changes that have been happening, including jungle and AD carry, just feel
suboptimal.
Exactly. And so if that's the only team, if we're taking both of those teams as top 2 teams in the group, it feels weird for me for RNG to make those changes, and that would just bring OMG up.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the fact of the matter is that even if you win with Y4 and Yihan, even if RNG go like undefeated, you could still say that if you had MLXG and Uzi there, you'd have a better team.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, theoretically that would be the case. Hopefully we do get to see them continue to improve over the course of the split and make that into more of a question as time goes on. But we've now wrapped up week 1 of Group B. It is completely different from our initial power rankings early on. Final thoughts before we close up?
LGD are going to playoffs.
Okay, well that one's a good one. I was
There
just
she
about to
goes.
say I'm ready for the ride, so I guess I'm ready for that ride. If it happens, it happens. Take me.
We've got a T-Rex suit on the line and a wig on the other, so
They're
we'll see
doing
which
that?
one pays
Why did
off.
I get the wig and not the T-Rex suit?
I never said you would get the wig.
Okay,
I didn't
that's
even
fair.
make that bet. But you know what? We'll see. I'm ready to wear a T-Rex suit. We'll
Who
talk
said you
about
get
this.
the T-Rex suit?
Oh God.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been an excellent Saturday. Be sure to come back tomorrow when EDG take on Snake in our first game of day number 4. On behalf of myself, my co-casters, my analysts, and the whole production crew, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.